I think arrangement is one of those things that don't really get enough spotlight when it comes to making music. And as a producer, having the right arrangement can either make or break whether or not somebody is inspired enough to even write to your beats. And if you're anything like me who's also a songwriter, arranging your beat ahead of time can really help with the songwriting process and make it much faster. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Nefertiti Gold and I am an electronic R&B artist. Today's video is going to feature 3 top tips that I found that really helps with arrangement. And if you stick around to the end, I even added in a bonus. Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid, but we'll talk about that soon enough. So let's just get right into it with tip number 1. A rule that I like to go by when it comes to arranging my beats that will help with the songwriting process later is adding in subtle changes every 4 bars. Now, it may sound like a lot of work, but I promise you it actually really isn't. Take a listen to these 8 bars right here and pay attention to the subtle changes from the first 4 bars to the second 4 bars. When you consider the fact that you might be listening to your beat several times on repeat, those subtle changes really make a difference. And if you're a songwriter, it really helps with inspiring the lyrics to come out of you a little bit easier. Now, sometimes just either adding or taking away even something like a hi-hat can really help add variety while keeping the vibes going, which actually brings me to tip number 2, which is changing instruments for every section of your song. Now, of course, this sounds very similar to tip number 1. However, this focuses on the different sections of your song. For example, the differences between your verse and your choruses. Now, let's take a listen to these next 8 bars. You'll hear how it transitions from the ending portion of the verse to the beginning portion of the chorus. Same chord progression, but 2 different types of synths are used to differentiate the different sections of the song. Now, if you're interested in taking a closer look at this project, or maybe you're interested in using this beat in your next release, it's actually available on my Patreon page as a royalty-free stem package that you can use however you want. And the link is in the description below. Now, before we get to tip number 3, and of course that bonus tip, we have to talk about today's sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is one of the world's leading distributors, delivering about 1/3 of the world's music to streaming platforms. DistroKid is an independent artist's right hand when it comes to getting your music on all the streaming platforms easily. DistroKid even offers an array of tools to help you promote your music for free, such as hyperfollow or promo cards. And if you work with a collaborator, they also allow for automatic revenue splits. DistroKid offers unlimited uploads for just $20 a year, but if you use my link in the description below, you get 7% off your first year. Now, for tip number 3, I feel like it's the secret sauce to really adding some of those final touches to your song that just really makes it stand out. And that would be actually dropping out parts of your music in the middle of the production. Now, for this particular tip, I definitely recommend experimenting with the different parts of your song that you want to drop certain instruments out. Now, take a listen to this beat right here because I use this tip heavily within the production. Pay attention to some of the grayed out areas, which is where I dropped out some of the instruments. Now, it's really subtle, but absolutely refreshing. If you're enjoying this video so far, definitely like this video and hit that subscribe button. And now it's time for the bonus tip. Now, I feel like the bonus tip might seem a little obvious, but it's one of those things that I feel like some people can easily forget sometimes. And that would be ear candy. Now, the thing that makes ear candy really special is that usually it's something that just occurs in your track maybe once or twice throughout the the entire production. And ear candy can take the form of many different things. Sometimes it's sound effects, sometimes it's a vocal chop. Take a listen to this sample from my latest single, WTG. I use a lot of ear candy towards the end of the song to pretty much emphasize that it's the climax of the song, it's the peak of the song, and there's a lot of energy happening. And while you're taking a listen, let me know in the comments below something that you do in your production when it comes to arrangement that helps it stand out.